Hi and welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Insider Weekend Picks. We're another week closer to finals and we're finally now back to full slates across the board until finals kick off. So that means there's plenty of games and players to choose from. Let's start in the AFL, where the bookies' totals tell us to be a bit wary of the Geelong and Bulldogs and Fremantle-Sydney games, which both have totals around the 150 mark. Elsewhere though, Adelaide, Melbourne, Port Adelaide and GWS are all expected to be big winners in high-scoring contests. So it does look like a week where you're going to want to pay some attention to stacks. Our team of the week then draws heavily on players from those teams, with Max Gawn at ruck and Dawes in the forward line representing Melbourne, Brad Crouch from Adelaide and Travis Boak from Port Adelaide. Sam Menegola finds his way into this optimal lineup, although with only one game in the books and being reasonably expensive, he'd be one that we might consider swapping out in cash games. Callum Archie from the Gold Coast makes the cut at a cheap salary, with the Gold Coast still expected to score around 80 points despite being underdogs. Tom Rockliff's form makes him hard to avoid even though he's nearly $16,000 now, while in the back line, Whitecross from Hawthorn and Hipwood from Brisbane are our picks at pretty cheap salaries. In the NRL, games got underway last night with another disappointing result for Brisbane, but going by the bookies, North Queensland v Melbourne could be a low-scoring game, while Canterbury, the West Tigers, Canberra and Manly are amongst the week's biggest favourites. At Draftstars, we're going to use the 7-match high roller to look at some of the best players in the remaining games this week. As usual in these kind of smaller tournaments, we'll spend big in the forwards, with Fafita and Paul Gallen leading the line, though I think there is some good value in second row forwards this week, with Afoa from the Warriors and Green from Manly, both likely to get good opportunities to score at very low salaries. In the wing, we again go with Javid Bowen, who has good potential in that North Queensland attack, although again I'd be wary in big tournaments based on the bookmakers' total for that game. I don't really understand why Gutherson is 5,450, but if he is, then I think he's a must-have. And Jamie Lyon we've gone with in the centres, partnering the much cheaper Tarn Milne, who's coming off a good performance for St George last week. Nathan Cleary I think remains severely underpriced at half, while Cameron Smith of course is ever reliable at hooker. And that's it for another week. Be sure to check out the Fantasy Insider website for the next instalment of our DFS 101 series, as well as some new features that we're going to be launching over this weekend. Have a great weekend and we'll see you on the leaderboards.